we will be talking about building resilience in our children. قالوا لي يعني ايه resilience, so we'll find out as we are talking and explaining. لو في حاجة مش معروف معناها, so I can, أصل أنا مش شاطرة في العربي قوي, بتكلم عربي بس sometimes بتنحون sometimes not, so okay. So I would like to start with a beautiful verse from Joshua 1 verse 9. بتقول لنا, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. Why? For the Lord our God is with you wherever you go. It's not just a verse. دي بتقويني when I'm down, for example, and whoever is feeling down or feeling discouraged from something, or think that they made mistakes, or think whatever it is. So God is there, and He's giving me the strength to overcome this experience and continue. That exactly معنى resilience. How to overcome mistakes, مش عايزة أقول كلمة failure, but discouragement and so on, and begin my strength through God. Okay, so the objectives for today is to understand resilience, what is resilience, and its benefit in our life in general, whether with children or with adults. And the other objective is to help parents and all adults knowing how to raise resilient children. So our agenda for this session, we will have some exercises. We'll have, opening questions, definition, exercises, and then we'll talk about how resilient are our children. How do we know that they are resilient or not? And then the characteristic of resilient children, age and resilience. We'll touch on that really quick in a nutshell. I'm not going to focus too much on it. And then we'll talk about factors that influence our children's resilience. Then how to build and nurture resilience in our children. We'll have lots of case studies and we'll open for questions. All right, here is an opening question. Why do, if we think about that question كده and kind of give it a moment, why do some children handle difficulties and life challenges with ease and confidence while others don't? Can somebody give me a thought about that? Why? Some children get scared and they start to cry. Well, crying in children is normal, but when it's out of the context, when it's out of place, when it's too much and everything crying, feeling anxious and so on, while other children facing similar experience, but they feel strong about it and they know how to handle it with confidence. Why do you think this happened?
Personality, one thing.
Personality, okay. And what else?
I think self-esteem and the assurance from home.
Exactly.
Like the kid who is raised in a house who always give him good self-esteem, assurance that they are backing him up, or they are there for him whenever any problem can happen, they can help him to solve it. He always have comfort in his heart that he has somebody to go to. But the child abandoned from his home, or he didn't find his parents in his life, he would always feel lonely.
Exactly. Very good. I always like your comments, Mary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a comment. Maybe the past experiences, especially with the parents, if there is something happen and the parents help him to overcome some challenges, maybe we'll learn from this. I can say experiences, the past experiences, and learning from this. Especially we are learning from parents, or learning from Sunday school teacher, or from guidance, or from wherever. But some people, they don't have this guidance.
It's true. Very true. Thank you for your comment, Doctor. Okay, we'll find out about all that. Now, how well do your children or our children manage challenging situations in their life? How do you or us as parents and adults let them learn from disappointments and mistakes? And here's another question. How do you or we as adults or teachers react to their mistakes? All these questions have a lot to do with how the child react or respond or deal with or handle their experience in life in general, whatever issue they are handling. And the last thing, do you think you are overprotective of them, and how? Let's take a moment to understand those questions and their effect. Actually, those are not just questions, those are hints to give us some ideas. Are we there? Is this happening? How does that influence the children? What does this mean? What kind of message do I need to get from those questions? Yeah, as teachers, as parents, whether we are dealing with very young children or even teenagers, or helping someone with young children or teenagers, even us adults, we do experience those feelings too.
دكتور ماري، ممكن نقول شوية examples مثلا؟
Of course.
يعني ممكن مثلا في teenagers، ممكن one struggling with during pandemic or during this difficult time about anxiety or depression or low mood.
Yes.
For adult, and he doesn't want to tell the parents. Maybe as a servant, we came to know the situation and what's my action. This is my question. This is, for example, one case.
Yeah.
And another example, if there is something happen in the church, and sorry, if Abuna doesn't know, or servant he knows, like situation, maybe a teenager kissed one girl, boy kissed one girl in the church, for example.
Yeah. And
then maybe the servant he came to know privately. This I'm opening some examples like this.
Yeah.
And well, tell us how to manage.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I just put those questions to kind of brainstorm our mind and to get us kind of in the mood of discussing this point. But I can respond to you for sure. But in general, I just don't want to. Okay, what you're saying is very valid, doctor, and very important. And I actually had given one of the presentation about the psychological well-being of children, youth, and elder. It doesn't mean us in general adults don't experience the effect of the pandemic, the psychological effect of the pandemic. So this is a presentation by itself. But however, in a nutshell, and how to deal with a youth feeling anxious or down, well, once I know, or they tell me, or even knowing them and having a good relationship with them, so being connected with the child, so I ask them, you don't seem yourself today, are you okay? So to kind of clarify, and then he would tell you. And once we know, and even before we know, we're going through the pandemic and it's almost over, hopefully we're praying for that. So very important to validate their feelings. Yes, it is tough. The whole world is going through, like, recognize what it is. Don't ignore it, but let's give them the courage that we will handle it. And all of us are there, and we are all around you. It's a bit of change, but we are handling it, and we know how to cope with it. So give them that safety The anxiety comes from the fear of not being safe, not being in control. Once we give them the safety, then they will calm down. But this is another session, actually. Very good point, Doctor. Okay, so let's move on, and then I might answer some of the questions of your questions. Okay. How well do you as parents handle disappointments, rejection, mistakes, difficulties, or conflicts? How us as adults are the examples and the role model. How do they see us handling rejection, mistakes, difficulties in life, some problems, some challenges? Do we panic?
Yes.
How do yeah, sometimes we do. Forget, especially in front of the children. If we panic, if we cannot handle it, this is when it's very important not to show it to the child, because children get frightened, and this is how the anxiety builds in them, instead of them knowing that it will be okay. I've seen some children telling their mom, it will be okay, don't cry. But imagine, it doesn't mean that the child understands that it will be okay, but she's trying to calm her mom from crying over something not really important, burning the food. It's okay, mom, we can eat anything. Yeah, but anyways. So what does resilience mean? Okay, can somebody give me a definition of what does resilience mean?
My understanding, resilience means that I can move forward, I can overcome the difficulties and be persistent to succeed in spite of getting some failures in my way, or some struggles or some problems.
Wonderful.
Keep going.
Yeah. Wonderful. Keep going. Exactly.
Let go.
Oh, let go. That's a good point too. Yeah. Let's keep going and let go of things. Okay. Any other thought, idea?
Adaptation.
Okay. Yes. One of the strategies is to adapt and move on and learn how. Okay. So here are some ideas on what resilience is. It's the ability to overcome difficulties, same as Dr. Shireen قالت. Adversity, like some contrasts and some problem challenges, and recover from it. Overcome it and recover from it. That means to let go, زي Mary قالت. And overcome it and keep going, زي Dr. Shireen قالت. And make positive changes in our own life. I can make it happen. I learned from this. Let's go on. Let's move on. Keep on going. Don't sit stagnant. Don't get stuck in your corner. Get out of that corner, because you can make it happen. You can handle it. Let's try different ways. It's bouncing back like a strong bamboo. We know that bamboo tree, you bend it over, but it stands up straight. Yeah. The ability to get back on track and the ability to move forward. Exactly just like how you explained it. So it's the product of an effective coping mechanism, like adaptation, Dr. Wagdi. Very important to build all those strategies and skills to be able to deal with stress, with difficulties, with discouragement, with mistakes, with fear, with stress and challenging life situation. All right. So how resilient are our children? We don't know. Do you know if your children in Sunday school and as parents, do you know if they are resilient or not? And to what degree? Are they the same at home as at church and at school? We don't know. Okay. Here are some characteristics of resilient children. Characteristics of resilient children. They know how to handle uncertainty. It's okay. It's very hard for me, but I have an idea. See, they start to think, I have an idea. I know how to handle this. You see, let me try this way. And the most important, children love to try only when we allow them. But when we say, no, 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 let me show to you, this is not the way. If you tell them this is not the way, let them try. Give them that freedom to think of choices and then discuss with them their trial and their choices. Two different things, two different ideas. Children love to try and they always love, let me do it, let me try. But when you give them the idea that they cannot, so they will immediately on the first moment, they will say, I don't know. That's depend on how we encourage or discourage them, how we give them the idea about themselves that they are capable, able or not. They are able, but are they capable? You see, we disable them, unfortunately, sometimes. Okay, that they are able to solve problems, like I said, able to face unfamiliar situations and find solution when they are about to go, for example, for a test or about to go for to join a new group of sports and they don't know the kids out there. That can bring some anxiety to them. But and it's unfamiliar situation like this, you see. But we encourage them, you can do it. Show them to shine, so they depend on their self-confidence, because their self-esteem is healthy, not high. I don't like to say high. But anyway, they are tolerant to disappointment. Tolerant, يعني عندهم patience. We teach them the fruit of the spirit. One of them is how to be patient. When we are patient, that teaches us a lot of good values. Patience, self-control, calmness, respect, because they can tolerate disappointment. ما يهجوش كده على طول. Sorry, I'm speaking Arabic or English. You see what I mean? Tolerance. They know how to handle stress. And of course, once we embed in them the good values, they start be genuinely empathetic with other people. And like I said, that builds in them the good positive values. Okay, now let's really quick go through the child age of development and to give us some ideas on each stage and what happens. Infant from 0 to 18 months, we call that trust versus mistrust. The child, the baby, trust that mom is coming to feed them. They cry, cry, cry. And when they see the mom or they hear her, they start to calm down. We notice that in babies, 1 month old or so, they start to calm down. That means they trust that somebody's coming. Once that trust is broken, they will develop mistrust. So some people say, oh, they are very young. They don't know. All they do from age 0 to 18 months, when the infant is properly cared for and nurtured, he or she develops optimism, trust, confidence, and security. So the resilience starts in the early age. Early age. I don't want to stop for long here because we have other stuff to discuss. Toddler from age 18 months to 3 years old. This is the stage of autonomy versus shame and doubt. When we give them the trust in themselves that they can make it, we observe them building the blocks. Oh, great job. Look what you did. What is this? Oh, the different color. Look, you put this in here, and they trust on themselves. So we train them and we teach them. So the child feel really sure and proud of themselves, even going to the party, toilet training, and so on. Always encourage versus discourage. Encourage whatever effort they put, and that will grow versus no ده مش فاهم. هتقول له كويس هيبطل. That's the opposite, complete opposite. When we encourage the 1%, it becomes 10%. When we encourage the 10%, becomes 20 and 30, and really fast, because they feel proud about themselves and they want to show and they want to shine. Does that make sense? Okay. Preschooler, that's 3 to 5 years old. Initiative versus guilt. The child at this stage like to take initiative. I can, I do it. Me too. I want. No, let me do it. So they take initiative, in other words. And when we give them that chance, they will shine. Versus, no, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. They will feel very ashamed of themselves and guilty for not being able to do. So nurtured children develop their sense of learning and exploring the world. When they are about to touch a plant, don't scold them, don't hit their hands. Teach them, oh, this is very tender. Let's put some water, let's water it. And it needs sun to breathe. So they learn, because at this stage, they like to explore. We don't know every step the child does and how we respond to it or react. Impact on their well-being, impact on their self-esteem, impact on their anxiety, impact on their self-esteem, like I said, and personality and their resilience, and the whole, the child as a whole. School age, which we learned was last week or 10 days ago, from age 6 to 12 years old, and that's what we called it, industry versus inferiority. When a child like to learn more, and when we encourage them and we be specific about what they do as efforts, they feel really proud of themselves. If we scold them and say, أنت مش عارف تعمل كده خيبة, that's not the way. How many times did I have to explain it to you? They will feel lots of label on them, and they will feel inferior. How can they build resilience? Right? So at this stage, children learn more skills, give plenty of encouragement to them, like we said before. Let them try, trial and error. It's okay. How else can we do it? This way didn't work. How else can we do? Let them think and try. And use reasoning. Okay. Adolescent, age 12 to 18, identity and confusion. Okay, who I am as a successful person, not who I am as a child of God. This is different, sorry. As identity crisis. Am I a good, successful? Does people love me? Does people love me? That is coming from the earlier childhood. Being labeled, feeling labeled all over me. Is my self-esteem healthy? Do I feel safe and secured inside me? Or do I feel confused? So this stage is very critical, and that's why we say identity crisis. All the hormone, of course, doctors know all about that. So it's very, very important to keep that in mind. Well-nurtured youth develop the sense of morality, the right and wrong. And it's never too late to practice respect with them, with encouragement. Encourage the child from day one until they are adults. We adults love to be encouraged, not just recognized. I'm not talking about being recognized, but also encouraged. Great effort, great job. You see, versus praising. Always shows them that you listen to them. Always shows them that they are important, and you look forward to talk with them and spend time with them, and whatever they are saying is important and valid. And then we correct them. It doesn't mean that we take everything they say. There is a huge difference between accepting everything and teaching them. Resilient youth are strongly built to face life challenges. Okay, any question in that part? No? Okay, here are some influences, factors that influence children resilience. Very important when I deal with children, I need to keep in my mind so many factors that are involved in a child development, in a child life. Family impact. Number one, family impact. Marital relationship, the parents' relationship together. And how does this impact on a child? Children feel guilty, anxious, unsafe when there are problems at home. Guilty and unsafe. So how can they be strong inside? Adult personalities and attitude. The parents' personalities and attitude. Any adult around the child, it could be uncle, could be auntie, grandparents, anybody in the family. A personality and attitude, like anger, putting the child down, that affects the child. And the household environment and what's happening at home. You see, life work, changing jobs, stress, all that happens with the family can affect the child because it gives them insecurity. They fear. That's why whatever happens at home with the parents, the mom and dad, whatever they go through at work, it has to be between them until they grow up and become even not just teenagers, but over 18, so they can understand and recognize what the parents are talking about with regard to financial situation and this and that. But it doesn't mean we don't teach them responsibility. We do teach them, but they don't need to know the catastrophic stuff because they feel insecure. Parent perception of protecting and shielding the children. We'll talk about that. Some culture, oh, ده عيل خلي بالك منه اوعى يعيط. طب ما يعيط هيجرى ايه ما يعيط. It's very important that child cries because they need to know that they made mistakes. They need to know that somebody is upset. They need to know to correct their mistakes and so on. Being overprotective hinders the child personality and self-esteem. Also parenting styles, especially what we grew up with. How I got parented does not work with my children and does not work at all with our grandchildren now. Doesn't. You cannot say, oh, this is the way I grew up and دلوقتي أنا راجل ولا أنا هو ست وsuccessful. It doesn't work because back then it was a norm. The norm of the culture, the norm of the family. It doesn't mean it, or it didn't mean that it didn't upset or affected the children. Lots of adults in my age been affected and their self-esteem is horrible. Yeah, by the parenting styles. Okay, that was about family impact. Number two, culture impact. Making sure that children are not upset, like I said, protected, extra cared for. وكلتيه عشتيه عملتيه غيرتيه طب خلي بالك من اوضته متروقه ايه اللي اوضته متروقه. 2 years old can clean their room. They need to learn how to tidy up their toys from 2 years old. So when a child is pampered and extra comfortable, can't put him or her in.
في حاجة في الصوت.
I think she's frozen.
صوت frozen.
الو حنان، الصوت في حاجة ولا ايه؟
هي
الصوت والصورة كمان.
خلاص الدكتورة جت ايه؟
الصورة جت؟ Okay. Yeah. So can you see the screen?
لا شير سكرين يا دكتور.
Let me share the screen again. Okay. Can you see the screen yet now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. It's just the internet to computer. I'm sorry. Although we just increased it, but I don't know what's happening. Anyways, culture impact, we talked about family impact. Now it's culture impact, as I explained. When we give the child the idea and the impression that they cannot do without me as mama or baba because I'm overprotective, not just caring. That this is how we stop them from thinking. They don't think anyways, but they stop from trying. Okay. The third point, from factors in affecting the children, each child is unique. So it's very important, like I said last time in our last session, very important to consider and appreciate each child capacity. I don't want to compare them together. Not comparing siblings من أخوك ولا أختك بيعمل اشمعنى أنت, or even in a class, same age, same stage, same grade. I cannot say, oh, ما John did it. How come أنت قاعد خيبة كده? How أنت مش عارف ما بتفهمش? No, never compare that. Each child is unique and have different capacity and ability. If they are both 7 years old, if they are both 8 years old, I don't compare them together. I only talk about their positive efforts. And I need to show them that I accept them the way they are, but encourage them so they can do better and they can go more, they do more. Encourage that siblings differ. Understand, sorry, that siblings, brothers, sisters differ in temperament and ability. Therefore, it is important to develop realistic expectation. Like I'm gonna expect them to be the same. Oh, I did them. I told them that. How come Johnny does it, but Sarah does not? They are brother and sister, and I do the same for both. Oh, that's unrealistic from me to expect that. Okay. Now here is a case. Let's pause for a couple of minutes. You decided to take your child to the park. That's for those who have young children. Excited to see the slides, your 4-year-old daughter decided and insisted on climbing the 10 feet tall high slide. Even if you don't have that age, if you know someone that does that, or a Sunday school, and you go out on a field trip with the children, just let's practice this together. So she said, it's fun. I want to go all the way up and slide down, Mom. And Daddy, please let me do it, said the little one. So you agreed that your daughter climbs the slide, but your spouse shouted, no. She's too young for that, and directed her to a smaller swing. How will you together meet your child's desire?
we have to be careful يا دكتور. أصل أنا اللي بعمل النو نو نو دي. يعني ما أنا مش هعرضهم للخطر.
يعني ممكن نبتدي بالتدرج شوية، يعني مثلا يعني يعملوا حاجة أصغر شوية.
خلاص إحنا في موقف دلوقتي نعمل إيه؟
هو كأني أنا ممكن أقول حاجة طب؟
طب
I need to hear all your thoughts, please. Go ahead. Can I see you?
هو إحنا عشان بنشتغل في السن دوت يعني فالأطفال بيحبوا إن هم يتنقلوا من مكان لمكان بسرعة، فإحنا عاملين ديل من الأول، هنقعد مع السن الصغير في المكان دوت شوية، وبعد كده نروح السكشن التاني في البارك للسن الكبير، وكل واحد بياخد التشانس بتاعته.
Okay, so what do you mean by that? ده في السن الصغير يعني في الحاجات الصغيرة الواطية؟
يعني في activities لل 4 years و activities للسن like grade 6 or سن كبير شوية، فإحنا واخدين ديل إن أنت time for that and time for other person and we have to control for both.
Okay, that's a good plan. تخلي بالكم من الولاد. But what happened if you are in a situation like this? A 4-year-old wants to climb a 10 feet tall slide, 10 feet high slide. What would you do?
Can I answer?
We don't have an age. We have a rules for this slide, and if they wrote it's not allowed to this age, they know this is not allowed to go. Done.
بس as parent يعني لو
as parent we have to talk to them. This is not our age. Like when you buy a games or something, you have to read the age in a game, and this is for your age or not for your age.
I understand your point. In general, we have to be careful. However, I need to hear some more.
Yeah, can I answer?
Yes, Mary, please.
Like we should, like my kids now are 21, so it is way far.
I know.
We need to respect each other's opinion in front of the kids. So I can't ignore the spouse's opinion, and he shouldn't ignore mine. So what I would do, I would see what is the maximum height he or she were able to slide on, and we can go gradually to the next level. If the next level she or he are able to do it, then we can go next.
Okay.
So this way, both parents will be comfortable, and the kid will be comfortable. Because if the kid say went to 8 feet, you are talking about 10 feet. Say they reach 6 or 8 feet, and they are doing it with hesitancy or they are not comfortable, the kids himself will not go to the 10 feet.
Okay. What happened if there is no restriction? It doesn't say this is height up to such, like some things in certain like space and science centers, they do decide that and they put some restriction, but this is in a park and the child wants to climb that. Okay. Somebody, sorry, go ahead.
أنا will pay, like لو في concern ما احنا we shouldn't go to the 10 feet regardless the restrictions written or not. I would use my judgment. Like لو هو الكid able to do 4 feet, I would tell him before you go to 10, we go to a bigger slide, something in between the 4 and the 10. If he is able to do it gradually, okay. If he is not, العيل نفسه هو هيبقى قلقان إنه يروح للكبيرة.
I like what you said. If you said a key word here, Mary, you said if he's able to do it gradually. It's a key word here. I like that. Okay, somebody was raising their hands too. Sorry, Mary. And somebody else was raising hands.
ممكن حاجة لو تسمحها دكتورة، هنا أنا يعني لو أنا معايا أطفال زي كده أنا هاخدهم من إيديهم وأحطهم على ليفل أصغر في ال10 فيت. أحيانا بيبقى الولد مش قادر يديسكفر إمكانياته، فانا باخده اعرفه امكانياته وانا معاه. قدرت على ال2 فيت، قدرت على ال4 فيت، طب نطلع حته صغيره تاني زياده ونشوف هيقدر قد ايه، وانا واقف جنبه، يعني انا واقف برضه محلق، لو حصل اي حاجه انا بعمل له سبورت، لكن مش هسيبه لضميره كده يطلع لوحده ويتزحلق ال10 فيت، لكن هبقى واقف متابعه، وهحطه على 2 فيت 3 فيت 4 فيت 5 فيت وانا معاه، لان هو ممكن يكون مجازف وهو ما يعرفش امكانياته، مش هقدر اقول له كده، لكن في عندنا في حاجه اسمها بيان على المعلم، فهاخده من ايده واعرفه ان هي دي امكانياتك دلوقتي، بس لازم تقتنع بكده. انا شخصيا هعمل كده.
Thank you, Sabuna. That's exactly what was. That's why I paused gradually. So I am there. Why do I need to leave the child? وحده, okay, go. وحدك هناك. Why? I am there, and this is a chance for me to show them that I'm encouraging them. وخلي بالي حتى لو struggled في النص حاول encourage them. If they cannot خالص and they say okay mama it's okay, then I can do في حتة تانية. After encouraging them they might make it. If not they will know okay I encourage them, that's okay, you did great efforts, you see, and let's try, maybe tomorrow we can try again. Tomorrow ما يجي هي climb it with not 4 years old can do a lot. 4 years old is not a baby. 4 years old, and they did climb. And I got this case from actual situation قدامي, and I was so proud of the parents standing there and watching their child. It was a daughter, a girl, and she was tiny. يعني you would say she's only maybe ما عدتش 3 years old, but she did it. And she was so proud of herself, and everybody clapped for her. Imagine how will this impact on a child. So I'm there, so I take this chance to encourage and watch and kind of make them safe. يعني خلي بالي منها.
عندي كومنت دكتورة ماري، عندي كومنت. هي دكتورة ماري ريزد البوينت دلوقتي، لو البيرنت ليهم رأيين مختلفين دلوقتي، هو واحد وافق والتاني مش موافق. دي يعني هو ماري قالت ان هو لازم يكونوا متوافقين الاول البيرنت قصاد الاولاد. الارجيومنت الاولاد ساعات يوزنج الارجيومنت او difference in opinion to take permission. فمش عارف رأيك ايه في الموضوع اللي هو احنا مش متفقين في القرار.
طب تعالي نسأل especially اللي مش متفق، لأن اللي متفق سهلة خلاص، لكن اللي مش متفق we need to give them respect, right? Okay, تعالي نسأل بابا، تعالي نشوف، أما نشوف discuss it with بابا how possible and what does he have in mind، لغاية لما البابا يقول okay does that mean، بس لازم في البيت نتفق together، لازم. So of course this is between the parents to talk it out, to be on the same page. Now اللي مش متفق ده اللي نروح له كده نسأل بابا، نسأله ليه، طب ليه يا بابا، طب انت، وهي الماما طبعا فاهمة انه خايف عليها، so let him say هتقدري تعمليها ولا لا. So they discuss، نسأل بابا طب ليه، maybe tomorrow، معلش النهارده maybe احنا مستعجلين، tomorrow we'll make it happen. لما يروحوا البيت يتفقوا انه okay let's give her a chance, let's encourage her, let's boost her self-esteem. Yeah, if she cannot it's okay، مش عاوزين نكسف اللي قال لا، لكن اللي قال it's okay.
وممكن برضو يعني انا لما كانوا ولادي صغيرين ساعتها كان في مره مش فاكره، يعني ليا صوره مع حد فيهم وانا شايلاه كده ونازله بيه من على سلايد كبيره.
واو.
فإتز يعني لو البيرنت نفسه as assurance for the kid، وبرضه في نفس الوقت ما يكسرش كلمه الثاني، ممكن يطلع بالطفل ده ويمسكه وينزل بيه اول مره لو just for assurance يعني.
لو حطيت تحت
ايام الشباب.
هو ممكن ومش ممكن، يعني في ادفانتج ديس ادفانتج. لو ما كانش البابا قال لا طبعا الأم معناها إن هي ما بتحترمش باباها قدام الشايلد. This is very important. لكن لو أنتوا من غير ما بابا ما قال لأ you can hold her is different idea. Yeah.
لا ما هو البيز لاين إن لازم الاثنين تو أجري ولازم ريسبكت الاثنين يبقوا في ريسبكت. فعلا لو قال لأ ده يعني لازم الاثنين لا إما يطلع جرادولي لا إما ممكن البيرنت الثاني يطلع معاه، بس provided إن الثاني اللي قال لأ ده أجريز طبعا.
exactly الثاني سواء بابا أو ماما، مش عشان هو البابا أو غيره. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other thought?
يعني هو مثالي لو في فرد يعني معاصلك شويه، الطرف الثاني يقول له معلش بعد اذنك انا هاخد الولد او البنت من ايده وهنعمل محاوله يا بابا او يا ماما، ويعني يبقى في كده محاوله تشجيع صغيره على قد الطفل. برضو انا عايز اعمل ستريس ان مش الاطفال احيانا بيبقوا يعني مقيمين نفسهم زياده او اقل، فمحتاج الطفل انه يكتشف نفسه في اي مرحله من المراحل. حتى دي بنشوفها في الكنيسه احيانا الولد يحس انه يقدر يعمل. على سبيل المثال مثلا مسك الشوريه، ممكن الولد او الشماس يفكر ان هو يقدر يعمل الحكايه ديت وبتنتهي ان هو يتلسع ويرميها مثلا. فهو محتاج ان هو اجربه وادربه ازاي، وفي الاخر اديله ثقه، لكن ما اقدرش اسيبه لضميره. يعني برضو لازم اخدها جراديوال زي ما بتقول الدكتوره ميري، وبرضو مشاهده واستنتاج علشان اكون فكره عن امكانيات هذا الطفل واعرفه هو يقدر قد ايه وما يقدرش قد ايه، وابتدي اكبر معاه سنه.
Very important, very important. Thank you, Tsabun. Okay, let's move on. Case تاني. Your 11-year-old son is required to write 2 pages assignments for a school project. You notice him struggling working on the assignments. When you checked his work, you found a lot of errors grammatically, vocab, and he even got out of the topic. How would you handle the situation, and how will you interfere? Your interference be? Let's take a couple of minutes.
Can I answer?
Of course you may.
يعني الأول first I would ask him, do you need help? If he told me no, then no is no. He take consequence for what he is doing, or and to learn by himself, it's okay. But if he said yes, I wouldn't point out the wrong stuff directly, but I would tell him this doesn't make sense to me, or this doesn't make sense to me, and he needs to figure it out himself. And if I found that in the topic, like he is not complying with introduction, subject, and summary that they need in the assignment, I would tell him what is the structure that they give you at the school to follow. This way he would review it and try to get in track. But I wouldn't fix direct his mistakes or grammar mistakes.
Yeah, I like this point. I wouldn't fix it right away. I wouldn't jump to fix. Never. But you said, I heard the word saying this does not mix to me. How about saying it? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Better, even better.
Yeah. So let them take and own what they can do about it. You see, to get them to think and know the experience. Okay, somebody else? Yes, Tsabun.
في حاجه طبعا يعني لو هو عنده 11 سنه هقول له برافو عليك، دي حاجه كويسه جدا وجود ايفورت. بس انا لاحظت مثلا في 10 حاجات ممكن تكتبهم بطريقه ثانيه، تراي تو ديسكفر ذيم، وابتدي معاه واحده دي صح دي، وهسيبه هو يعيد قرايه ثانيه ويصلح، وانا هتدخل لاحقا. هسيبه هو يصلح، يكتشف اخطائه ويصلحها، وانا مشاهده واستنتاج برضه واصلاح.
هو اصلاح. اوكي. of course start with the encouragement.
بس يقراها تاني بطريقه مختلفه ويطلع الحاجات اللي هي مش عاجباه وممكن اصلاحها.
Yeah, and this is when he comes to me and say okay, I need some help. حاجات دي. Okay, good point. Who else?
أنا مش عارفة أنا ليه why should I check his work. يعني دي شغلانة teacher اللي هي to detect what's like his problems and fix it. أنا مش teacher, I shouldn't be looking at what I never looked at what my kids are doing. I don't know, maybe أنا ignorant mom ولا إيه، لكن I never like ولا غير حاجة، ولا لو عنده مشكلة وجه ليا ممكن أديله أفكار، إنما I don't go back and check what he did.
You're not
لأنه هيوريها للتيتشر.
You're not a bad mom. And this is the point I said, when he comes to me, then I bring to his attention, of course, I encourage the good efforts, I encourage what is expected, عايز تعرف ايه, this is good point, how else can you do it? Yeah, okay, discuss it with him. Yeah, just to show him that we are there for them and to encourage them and that they are doing great efforts. And of course, the teacher will give them more. But there is something very important again here. And then as a mother, as a parent, I need to show them that I am there and I'm encouraging them. And I need also to show the school that we're not neglecting our child. You see, but they need to know our system as parents too, and what we do with them. Are we frozen? Well, you can see me.
No, we see.
Oh, okay, alhamdulillah, because I freeze كل شوية. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other thought? Any other idea? No? Yes? Okay, so let's move on. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, how do we prepare our children to be resilient? How do we do that? I think from what we discussed, we can نستنتج يعني. But anyways, number one, have a relationship with God. Teach this to them. Let them in their tough time, in their struggle, in their facing challenges, in whatever mistake they do at school, in their relationship or peer in a class, let them know that God is with me. So I believe that things will be okay. God is with me. Things will be okay. Does not mean will be solved, but will be okay. So have a relationship with God. Always not just praying, but also develop a system to have God in our life. And every night and every day, we sit and talk about what happened during the day, what happened during the week, what do we need to do? So did you ask God about this? How did you talk with God about this? Let them develop this relationship with God. We do it at home with as parents together, so they can model it and they can wait for it. Okay. Number two, be on the same page with your spouse. فاكرين موضوع السلايد? Be on the same page with your spouse. With at home as parents or Sunday school, be on the same page as teachers. So they don't go ask you and then they go ask the other teacher. Oh, this teacher will allow me. Don't ask this teacher. Excuse me. Don't ask this teacher because she will say no. She's always scared. No, be on the same page. Yes, yes, no, no, class. Especially when you're in a responsible situation. Okay. So the Bible teaches us about resilience. Always be joyful. Never stop praying. Whatever happens, give thanks. That means whatever happens, whatever you encounter in life, give thanks. Because it is God's will in Christ Jesus that you do this. Remember, God is with me does not mean whatever I want will happen exactly. God knows better than me. This is what I need to embed in them. This is what I need to explain to them. So the child don't feel anxious. It's okay. It doesn't mean to be negligent. No, it's okay. God, when I teach them to rely on God, does not mean I teach them to be negligent. Oh, God will do it for me. God didn't permit it. No, it's a lot of strength to have this in them, because they will continue put 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 16 to 18. Okay, the internet is still bouncing here, giving me some signs, but let's move on. Okay. How to nurture, sorry, حد بيتكلم how to nurture resilience in the children. Love your children unconditionally. روح كده كده خيبة ما بحبكش. No parents say that. الجاتك دي ما بحبهاش، ما اعرفش ليه. Sorry يعني. Yeah, this is a horrible thing to say to a child. Our children are loved unconditionally, without any condition, whether they clean their room, whether they listen to me, whether they do whatever. Unconditionally loved for who they are, not for what they do. Accept the child. Some children are delayed a little bit. Let's accept them. This is their ability, this is their capacity. They can do, they cannot make it more. Remember, every child differ. Yeah, so I need to accept them, but encourage them. Does not mean no discipline. Help support them. Don't tell them what to do. Let them come up with choices. And this is the time with as a family. Talk and discuss. What can we do about this? What happened if this happened? What happened when this happened? You see, let them think, let them be aware of things. Let them be proud of themselves. Let them express themselves. So they need strong positive emotion attachment versus negative emotional attachment. This is a topic by itself. Emotional attachment, they cry all the time. They cannot do anything without mama, baba. You see, they develop resilience when they receive consistent love and support. Consistent, okay. Unconditioned. Sorry, حد عايز يقول حاجة?
No, I was just saying, لو حتى we give the love, but still the child is, not child, I don't know, أولادنا 20, in the 20s, and they still need always something to be done for them. They depend on us. Phil buy stuff, مش decisions. Like, buy this for me, clean this for me. They don't want to do that on their own. On the other hand, other child, I want to do everything, but they don't do, so I have to do it. So,
well, let's encourage them. Maybe they don't feel strong or confident enough. Or if you cannot do it now, you can make it later. You can do it later. But it's up to us to be patient. I don't want to go after them. Oh, your room is still dirty for the whole week. No, this is the second week, and the laundry is still there, and you didn't touch your room, you didn't arrange your room after them. Okay, اعملي انت. You see what I mean? No, encourage them.
لازم نعمل كده يعني هنسيب الدنيا يعني.
Yeah. Oh, I know that it is tough for the parents, but with encouragement, you will find them. You see, age 20 is لغاية 25. Still need some guidance and still need a lot of patience from the parents. They are in school, like university and so on, but still they're in the room that they go in and they don't come out until they're done the university and they start working and be responsible. However, not all of them. So give them that, because we teach them and we develop in them whatever we want to see in the future. Let them depend on themselves. Let them have the courage to make it on their own. They need this. We need tough heart. Yeah, we need that. Don't jump to help or do it for them unless they are incapable. Help support them, but don't do it for them. Warm and good communication among family members foster resilience in our children. They feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel loved, they feel included, and the whole thing. Okay, let's move on because those are long tips. That was number one. Love your children unconditionally.
Yes. Do you want to give them a choice to want to continue or want to take a break? Like you are going for 1.5 hours, right?
Yeah. It's up to you. Do you want to continue? Let's continue, or do you want to take a break?
Continue.
Continue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Number two, nurture and enhance your spiritual well-being. This is number one, number two, number three, number 10, number 100. Very important to nurture and enhance your spiritual well-being. Like I said earlier, devote specific time every day for prayer. And not only to pray Abana Lazi or just read a verse or two and that's it to khalas. No, discuss it. How are we using this in our life? What happened when something happened? How did you receive it? How did that make you feel? And did you remember? And why did you remember to respond that way? You see, the spiritual guidance in our life, how we practice it in our life on a daily basis. Teach them that love and the strength of the Holy Spirit inside us. How it gives us the strength to accept what we cannot do and to move on from whatever we cannot change. Teach them Christian values of the love, the giving, the respect, honesty, tolerance, like I said earlier, and the inner peace. Inner peace. If I cannot do it, I don't frantic. I don't get anxious. This is one thing. If I cannot do it, I don't get anxious, not because I couldn't do, but because I become afraid of mama, I become afraid of baba, I become afraid of the teacher. Give them the inner peace. You did what you needed to do. And of course, when they do what they need to do, they're not going to do a lot of mistakes. However, nobody's perfect. And this is what they need to know. Follow up with them on a daily and weekly basis, their Christian practice in their life. This is very important, and I always emphasize on it because that was my way of teaching Sunday school. When I used to teach Sunday school, I used to take time and few minutes here and there to find out how they are practicing what we're talking about. It's just اقرا واحفظ وخلصنا. Yeah, at school, for work, with their friends, with people they meet, and so on. Okay. And this verse from Joshua 1, verse 9 says, don't be afraid and don't panic. For I, the Lord your God, am with you in all you do. So that calms the person and gives them the inner peace and work on their anxiety. Okay. Number 3, trust your children. Have confidence in their ability. Oh, you can do it. Oh no, Mom, I'm afraid. Let's find out. Remember yesterday? By the way, when I say remember yesterday, I don't tell them about yesterday bad things, but I remind them of their achievements. So if I talk about the yesterday, I need to talk about how they were afraid, but they made it. And of course, validate their feelings. Sometimes when we're about to do something new, we become hesitant a little bit, but let's see what's in it. You see? Yeah, I'm sure. And then encourage their ability to cope with their feelings, challenges, and give them a chance. If they are afraid, don't say أنت عبيط, أنت خواف. No, appreciate the feelings. It doesn't mean let them control them. Yeah, appreciate the feelings. Validate it, however, let's see. And then remind them of their abilities that they can do. Encourage, allow them the power to handle their mistakes on their own so they can feel dependent. Teach them to be independent. Supervise from a distance when they are very young. Express through your body language. And what sometimes we say, good, 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 good. شاطر. See, what does this mean? شاطر. What does this mean? No, مش شاطر إن أنا بتريق عليه. Right? No, my body language give a lot of meanings, more than the words. And I'm sure Uncle Sammy talks about that a lot in communication. Yeah. And words of confidence in their capacity to rebound from the disappointments they encounter. Right. That was number 3. Number 4, help them to think on their own. What do I mean by that? أنت روح فكر فيها? No, it doesn't mean you go think about it. You go think about your mistakes when we put them on time out, when we are upset, when they did something to dishonor you, when they did a mistake, when whatever, to discipline them. Go think about it, and then we'll talk about it. And then we'll talk about it. But here, let them think about the issue or the challenge by asking them open-ended questions. When I say ask them questions, what happened when? How do you think this will be helpful? You see, if we do this choice, what other choice do we have? How can the other be helpful more? Which one? And so on. Help them to come up with alternative solution. That's decision-making kind of skills. Discuss the impact, how helpful, not helpful, consequences, and narrow down ideas. This is what we mean by help them to think on their own. Don't just leave them. روح فكر فيها أنت كبير. وأنت عيل دلوقتي ما أنت كبرت خلاص. No, no, no. We need each other as adults to think together. But help me how to think, right? Yeah. Number 5, let children experience risk and know how to handle it. Let them make mistakes. مش حاسب هتغلط، حاسب هتقع. طب ما هيقعوا قدامنا or في حتة تانية. You see, let them experience this so next time they will know what to do and learn how to make it better or different. Don't jump to rescue them or fix their problem without their engagement. تعال. Let's talk about it. I am sure this can be or seem tough, but you know, let's find out what's in this. Sometimes some math question can be a little tricky, but you know what? Let's find out. Let them read it and ask them the open questions and give them some hint. And how will this be possible or not possible? That's the way to help, not to jump. Help يا عم تعالى. أهي دي كده صح دي كده غلط اديله. No, don't give them all the answers. Let them think. Let them feel responsible is the key. Teach them failure is not the end of the world. It doesn't mean, oh, okay, أنت قلت لي it's okay تبقى failure. No. Once they know and they become resilient, they will feel the responsibility to put the effort, not to be negligent. So making mistakes is the moment to think of what to do next. This didn't work. How else? How different can I do it? Give them the patience and the tolerance to do it differently. Remember? Yeah. Okay, here is a case. You are proud of your advanced 18-year-old daughter graduating and getting to a higher step in her life by joining university studies. Your daughter seems very hesitant to join the university, not sure what to study. Of course, this is normal. Nor if she can make it at the university level. She asks you to make the decision for her. How would you respond to her request? I see some smiling faces. Does this look familiar sometimes?
Yeah, it's familiar, but we discuss,
Yeah.
We discuss نشوف why she's afraid and what she can achieve and what she likes وممكن تاخد اللي هو year 1 اللي هي لسه تستكشف.
Yeah. Most important how we approach her. You're on the right track, Dr. Shireen. How do we approach at the beginning?
We just try to discuss and to help her to make the decision herself. Like
Of course.
Options. We see why she's afraid. And I like دايما اشوف what's the worst case scenario they are afraid of, given يعني إنه كلنا anxious people في الhouse. When we know what is the worst, I can always see like it's not so bad, but just try.
Yeah, very good point. You're on the right track. How else can I start approaching her? أيوة أتسابون.
هو طبعا المشكله الاولى ان انا ما بقاش بايظ بفكره معينه. احيانا ببقى انا عايز العيل يخش كليه معينه واحاول يعني امسك الحوار بحيث ان انا اقنعه بفكرتي، مش ان انا اخليه ديسكفر هيم سيلف. فدي بتبقى المشكله الاساسيه. المفروض ان انا ابقى نيوترال واحاول اخلي الولد او البنت يكتشف نفسه والحاجات اللي هو بيحبها. وطبعا انا عندي باك جراوند، انا مش على غفله لقيته عنده 18 سنه، يعني هو طول عمره قدامي او طول عمرها قدامي، فاقدر اساعد بالمشاهده والاستنتاج اللي انا عايشه معاه طول الوقت او عايشه معاها. فطبعا انا بساعد، لكن ما اقدرش اقحم نفسي لا انت تخش كذا، لا دي احسن لك، ده كده مش هتلاقي شغل. لا انا عايزه يعني ازقه في الحاجه اللي هو بيحبها، اخليه اساعده انه يكتشف نفسه. دي اهم حاجه، بان انا ابتدي افتح حوار. طب بتحب الماده دي، بتحب الماده دي، طب انت شايف نفسك بتشتغل ايه، مين مثلك الاعلى، وابتدي افتح معاه حوار بالشكل ده. لكن مش اقحم عليه رايي، احيانا ما بيبقاش مظبوط. وبتشوف امثله كتير جدا العيال مضطره انها تسمع كلام اهاليها وما بيقدروش يكملوا. فطبعا دي مشكله.
Very, very important points. Thank you, Otsabuna. And I can give you an example live from here. This was a very, very, very genius girl. And she finished high school. She was 15 years old. And both of her parents was all respect to physicians. يا جماعة مش بقول حاجة بس her parents and the whole church expected her to go to medicine and advance in it كمان. But she didn't want any medicine at all. And to go to university, they accepted her. She was 16 when she went to university. She finished university. Guess what she got into? History, art, history. This is what she shined in. She finished undergraduate. She did her graduate studies. She did her PhD young, very young. وتقف تسمع الهيستوري واشتغلت في الانترناشنال يعني because she loves that. This is very important, valid point, Otsabuna. Thank you very much. What else, Mary? You wanted to say something?
I have a personal experience with one of my children. Like, هم دايما عكس عكاس. اما تقولوا حاجه هم العكس. فانا عندي يعني انا ونادر احنا الاثنين دكتورز فيزيشنز يعني. فهو
اوكي طب قولوا لي كده طيب عشان اقول لك دكتور ميري. سوري.
لا ده انا بس عشان دي في الحكايه. لا انا ميري سباين. فهو كان عايز ميوله كلها is not towards the science. يعني انا كنت متابعاهم في المدرسه وعارفه what is his interest. فما when he was in grade 10 he didn't like he didn't like البيولوجي والحاجات دي. فما جيت choose the courses in grade 11 I told him Fadi, this is not your area. You like debate. You have medals in debate. ودخل في tournament وكسب على مستوى الكلام. أنت بتحب البابليك speaking. This is not your area. عند وأخذ التريبل ساينس. أخذ 3 ساينس. يقول لي I wanted to open my doors. Who knows? I might change my mind. سبته وأخذ اللي هو عايزه. أما جه بقى بعد when he finished 11 وراح جه ل 12 and realized that this is not his area. هو لوحده تشوز الحاجات اللي تدخله law school. وهو بعد كده جه قال لي because you let me try واخد بعد كده كمل الكورسات بتاعته اللي اخدهم في جريد 12 كانت اخد فيهم طبعا هاي جريد عن جريد 11 يعني الماركس بتاعته كانت اعلى من جريد 11 عشان كده اكسبتد في يونيفرسيتي كويسه ان هو اخد جود جريدز في جريد 12. فاحنا دايما we give the advice but we don't pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Very important. I want to stress on a very key point here in this case. It says your daughter seems very hesitant.
I leave her until she is comfortable.
فرزان الثاني يا دكتور.
This is a key word. What do I do here? Sorry?
الصورة بتفرزن والكلام بيروح.
Oh no.
It is back.
دلوقتي كويسة.
Okay. So what do I do with the word hesitant? I got the impression that she's hesitant. How can I approach her?
I encourage.
Yes, but very important. Encourage her, yes, and validate her feelings. Getting into university and choosing special area is, of course, is a huge decision. So let her feel relaxed, because they feel anxious that لو دخلت هنا, if I choose this one, mama هتضايق. لو I choose this one, this is not what I.
Frozen.
ما اعرفش الدكتوره ميري خرجت ولا ايه؟
زارت تخرج تخش تاني. دكتور سامي راح.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. بس الدكتوره بره.
ممكن تخش يا مرمر تاني معلش. يمكن it had from we just upgraded our
انترنت مالهمش حل.
هي بس يمكن her computer I don't know. هي المشكله انا عندي هنا معقده شويه في الاوفيس بتاعي، لان عندي 3 كمبيوتر 3 سكرينز، فهي لما بتيجي تبقى يعني شويه very unfamiliar for her. She's comfortable in her office and screens. فهي لما بتيجي تبقى يعني
طب ما كنا الاصلاح بقى.
ابونا المشكله ان كل اللي حاضرين يا ابونا كلهم عيالهم كبروا.
ايوه.
فعايزين الاصلاح.
الاحفاد
برضه عشان اولاد مدارس الاحد برضه.
لا ازاي بيتر وبارثينا ومينا لسه هيجيبوا العيال.
لسه.
لا.
وبعدين هي المحاضرات موجوده على اليوتيوب، فاللي استفاد منها كتير يعني، سواء في السن ده
وفي الاولاد مدارس الاحد وتسابونا برضه ساعات.
والمعامله معاه يعني احيانا بنقعد مع اولاد مش عارفين يقرروا هم عايزين يعملوا ايه، يقول لك انا ما عنديش ميول لاي حاجه. فطبعا الكلام ده بيبقى بنحاول ان احنا نتكلم معاهم ونساعدهم ان هم يكتشفوا نفسهم. يعني بتحصل ان احنا نقعد مع حد يقول لك ما عنديش رغبه في اي حاجه.
انا هتكلم ابونا معلش. انا عندي نقطه في الموضوع ده، لان المصريين عندنا بيبقوا صعبين قوي في الموضوع ده. يعني من هم صغيرين لغايه جريد 6 او جريد 9 until now بيقعدوا يعملوا لهم الهوم وورك معاهم ويقعدوا معاهم.
طبعا دي مشكله طبعا.
فده صعب جدا جدا على الام والاب ان هم يتابعوا، والعيال خلاص دايركت انا ماما هعمل ايه النهارده، بابا هعمل الواجب ازاي؟
يريحوا نفسهم.
ما الدكتوره شيرين قالت
لا،
مش مشكلتي،
المشكله
هم
ان
العيال
الام واخده ان دي مسؤوليتها، ان هي لازم تذاكر مع الطفل.
دول اللي جايين من
جبت
مصر
ايه؟
بقى.
وريني، ولازم تجيب الفول مارك، ولازم ما اعرفش ايه
لا
وكده.
لا، هي بيتابعوا العيال من بعيد لبعيد، لو في نقطه ضعف يحاولوا يساعدوهم، لكن لازم العيل يعتمد على نفسه من صغره.
يعني
دي مهمه
بالظبط.
طبعا،
واحنا
بتفرق من عيل
بالظبط
لعيل.
يعني بجد نشكر ربنا. هتكلم مثلا عن جوزيف مثلا باسم الصليب. من هو صغير بتابعه من هو صغير لغايه كان في مدرسه صعبه جدا 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 في الامارات يعني. فاصعب مدرسه كانت، وكانوا بيلومونا ان انتوا دخلتوا المدرسه ديت ازاي وليه. ستيب باي ستيب كده، فبدات اشيل ايدي. لا خلاص، انت بقى اعمل دي لوحدك، الماده دي ذاكرها لوحدك. من جريد 3 وانا بحاول اشيل ايدي لغايه لما لو انت عايز مثلا اي مساعده خلاص. انما جه بقى في الجريد 7 9 خلاص done. I don't know what he study يعني خلاص.
طبعا احسن
هو
كده.
ديبندد ودخل الكليه، انت اللي تختار اللي انت عايزه. ما احنا ما ينفعش ان احنا نتدخل في انت عايز تذاكر ايه ولا بتذاكر ايه. هم بيبقوا عارفين ومذاكرين ومؤسسين نفسهم، انا بحب ده ومش بحب ده. فديت عايزه مش لا انت لازم تعمل زي باباك، انت لازم تعمل زي مامتك. وفي اهالي بتجبرهم، طب مين هيشيل العياده ولا مين هيشيل الفارماسي بتاعتي؟ لا ما ينفعش. فما اعرفش، هي في حالات اليومين دول برضو كتيره قوي في الموضوع دوت. فيعني ربنا
بس بتفرق من حد لحد ومن اسره لاسره، وفي عيل بتبقى طبيعته متردد مش قادر طبعا نتيجه التربيه بس بنبقى قدام حاله في الاخر ممكن ما يكونش بيسال الاسره، لكن بيسال ابونا او بيسال الخادم بتاعه اتصرف ازاي. فهي ده التعامل يعني. احنا بناخد نتيجه ولد او بنت في سن اتخاذ قرار نتيجه بقى تربيه وبيئه وثقافه وحاجات كتير، بس احنا بناخد حصيله الكلام ده ان احنا نتعامل معاها في الاخر. فازاي نتعامل معاها هي دي المشكله. يعني الحلو اللي بيربي صح ده كويس، لكن اللي فلتت منه الحكايه ديت وطالب مساعده الخادم ومساعده الكنيسه، ساعتها هنا بيبقى ده مطلوب مننا احنا. دكتور
موضوع الجيمز واللعب دي برضه انا بس نفسي مره تيجوا تشتغلوا رحله معانا الى الجيم في مدارس الاحد مره وتشوفوا الاطفال على طبيعتها يعني
بيبقى مفيد.
عايز تشوف البيهيفير بتاع ابنك، تعالى شوفه وهو بيلعب.
طبعا
دن
قادر ربنا يفتحها تاني. صلواتكم.
يا رب صلواتك يا رب.
دكتور وجدي يتكلم الدكتور سامي او الدكتوره ميري، ممكن يكون
شوف
على التليفون.
ابونا ما بيردش اهو. الدكتور سامي جه
دكتور سامي جه
بيحاول يفكس الموضوع.
Unfortunately, it looks like the connection to her computer is gone somehow. Like she cannot get anything, because I was trying to get her to send the presentation to my computer, and then we can project it from here and she can work on it from here. So maybe Marmar.
حلوه مرمر دي يا دكتور.
ما لازم عشان بس
خلاص.
I'm trying to be an example for him.
كده يخلي ناس تانية تتشد.
بلاش مرمر دي
هنسبب مشاكل كده يا ابونا.
او تفتح افاق جديده، خلي بالك.
يعني انت تسال عليه بالليل بقى، ما اعرفش مصيره ايه.
ممكن تلاقيه بيخبط لك على باب بيتك بقى ولا حاجه، ونبعته عندكم 20.
ماشي، احنا هيبقى هو وجدي على الباب. ها
خير الله.
هو ساعات ابونا بس لغايه ما تخش الدكتوره ميري، العلاقه بين البيرنتس وبين الخادم ساعات ناس كتير ما بتبقاش فاهمه من الخدام، فاهمه العلاقه شويه. ساعات يجي يقولوا الولد مشاغب، الخادم يقول لك انا مش عارف، مش قادر عليه، انا هاخده لابونا مثلا. يمكن او هروح اقول للبابا او بكمل.
I apologize for happening هناك. I should have sent it to Sammy and اخش الاستوديو بتاعه هنا. Anyways. So, well, let's summarize what we talked about. So, what do we need to do? Number one. سامعيني؟
لا we can't see the screen. مش شايفين البرزنتيشن.
لا السكرين مش هتيجي.
لا ما نسمع.
Yeah, sorry, السكرين مش هتيجي. Maybe another chance.
احنا كنا بنناقش.
Okay. So let's summarize. First thing, very important, to connect with God and connect the children with the Lord and help them to get all their thoughts, their impressions, their mind that God is there to help me. Once I know that God is there to help me, that will relieve them from any anxiety, from any challenge they are encountering, making any decisions, and in the relationship out there with their peers. That include peer pressure and other with the C's that we're talking about. So this is number one. Number two, parents at home and the household atmosphere needs to be healthy for the child well-being. In terms of parents' relationship together, parenting styles, the household and how we accept them and how we encourage them. What else? What else did we talk about?
So we are talking about how to build the resilience, or what is the main?
We're summarizing now, Dr. Mary, and yeah, we took like a few steps in how to build resilience. We can talk about that another time. We can take like
because I took notes, so if you want to help with the.
Yes, I know. That's good. You're precise. That's great. But let's summarize what we talked about today, because of what happened in the internet and
so
internet.
We talked about characteristic of resilience.
Yeah. And what else? How
else? And we did talk about the age and the resilience.
Yeah.
And we did talk about factors influence child resilience.
Yes.
Family, culture, each child is unique.
Yeah.
And we did talk about how to prepare our children to be resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Resilience and the Bible.
So what did we learn? So what did we learn from all what we talked about today? Including the cases. Any thoughts? Any question? Any thought?
What we learned ان احنا we have to ان احنا نخلي الchild on his own، نديله الكونفيدنس بس نخليه هو grow on his own عشان يميك up his own personality وتبقى على base strong. بس النقطة اللي أنا عايزة أقولها this needs too much patience which practically is not available. In life يعني الدنيا بتجري وبنزعق وبنضرب يعني I mean دي عايزة بقى حد قاعد كده رايق وفي دماغه على طول الموضوع ده، خصوصا للصغيرين. يعني أنا بتكلم على backwards. يعني دلوقتي we can do more like that مع العيال أكتر لأنه مش بيجولنا في كل وقت، لكن والعيل معانا بنشخط فيه عشان عايزة أتكلم في التليفون. يعني في حاجات كتير مش عارفة، أنا حاسة إنه محتاجة إن الواحد يكون really واخد باله.
Well, you have a very valid point here, Dr. Shireen. The point here is not because we are stressed because of life rush and rushing here and there, but this is because we are rushed because we are all busy, and this is why we need to teach them patience. We need to teach them tolerance. We need to teach them how to be resilient. Like, however, if life is rushed, and for me to ask them and expect them to do because أنا مش فاضية, because you need to do it, because okay طب هات وريني كده ونخلص ونخلص ونخلص. In the long run, how will that impact on them in the future? If I see it as because of the circumstances now, this is what I need to do, then I need to think about the children, because as they grow from 1 year old to now, whether they are 11, 15, 20, or older, time will also go on, and they will be 30 and 40, and we say, oh, العمر خلص ولا فات. You see what I mean? So it needs not patience ولا إن حد هادي. It needs looking at the future from a different perspective.
Yeah, no, my point is, يعني I can have this plan and I'll do it and I hope we did it. بس في faults بتحصل، في وقت بنغلط، في وقت ما بنتصرفش صح لأننا stressed، ان انا اشخط، ان انا يعني طبعا ideally ان انا ابقى دايما patient encouraging وما I don't scold them، بس بيحصل يعني
وماله يحصل، بس اكيد ايه اعمل ايه لما ده يحصل؟
بروح usually بروح اعتذر لهم
وتسابونا. ما سمعتش الحته دي، وتسابونا قدسك يعني. ياس بنعترف بس يعني
لا بنعتذر للعيال مش بنعترف.
بنعتذر للعيال.
لا بعتذر وصالح وابوس واقول لهم معلش انا كنت ستريس، but I mean it leaves برضو injury في حياتهم او في السايك بتاعهم.
يس انا لغايه النهارده يعني بنتنا متجوزه وابننا برضو كبير وكلهم adults and the whole thing، بس لغايه دلوقتي بعتذر ان حتى ما كانوا صغيرين. I didn't know better, but this is what I knew. مش حكايه I was stressed وبس, because under stress they will act the same. I don't want to give them this in their mind because I'm stressed. سيبني انا دلوقتي متضايقه ولا اللي هضربك. No. أنا stressed and that's not an excuse. Even if I said it because I was stressed and مش عارفه ايه، بس I need to الحق روحي by saying but that's not a reason or an excuse. Of course this is not appropriate and so on, and I am sorry and I hurt your feelings. Not just sorry, I hurt your feelings. Let's talk about it now. If I am busy and I cannot, and I'm really stressed and I am very tired, I better say, I am tired now. Give me 15 minutes. Give me half an hour. Then they will respect that and they will get busy with something and they come back. Like, yes, بنسكول, yes, بنغلط, nothing wrong with that. It depends on what I do with it after, and understanding the impact of it after on the child, on the other, on the youth. Yeah, so they can feel loved, respected, safe, resilient, and the whole thing. Does that make sense? What else did we learn today?
عندي كومنت دكتور ماري. اتفضلي ماري، اتفضلي.
لا اتفضل.
لا اتفضلي.
لا اتفضل حبيبي.
انا بس برضه I like this respect especially teenager، لو بالذات في الساندي سكول. لسه كنت بكلم مع ابونا ساعات الادلت، ساعات احنا في ساندي سكول ممكن الولد يبقى مشاغب شويه، فممكن لو انا ما فيش ريسبكت انا هقول له خلاص انا هاخدك لابونا، اهدده بابونا، او هروح اقول للبيرنتس، او ما بيسمعش الكلام، او ما دايما عاوز ادخل البيرنتس وما اعملش ريسبكت واخليه داون، او ما ارفعش، ما ادلوش سيلف كونفيدنس. فساعات كقدام ممكن احنا يعني ننزلق وما ناخدش بالنا من الحاجات دي، ان احنا الولد نديله ريسبكت او نديله سيلف كونفيدنس حتى لو هو مشرب، حتى لو هو، لان انا شفنا زمان اولاد كانوا مشربين وهم اللي بقوا وهم اللي بيجوا الكنيسه، والولاد القديم ما بقوش يجوا. فانا قصدي ممكن المشربين دول ممكن نلاقي منهم حاجات كويسه في الفيوتشر، وبيبقوا اندبندنت وبيبقوا حاجات كويسه. فدي يعني خلي بالنا بي كيرفول مع البيرنتس شويه. لا الخادم بي كيرفول مع البيرنتس.
Thank you, Dr. Wagdi. This is a very important and valid point, very valid point. To start, never threaten a child ولا youth ولا whoever. هروح أقول لأبونا سوري، يعني هيكره يروح الكنيسة، هيكره يروح لأبونا، هيكره حاجات كتير. most of all هيكره إن هو يجي الكلاس. أنا بعمل كده ليه؟ عشان يقعد ويسمع كلامي وأخوفه؟ No. دي حاجة. So never say that as a parent, never say that as a Sunday school servant. never يخوفهم ولا يهددهم ان هروح اقول لباباك، هروح اقول لابونا. What can I do about it? I have a lot in my hand to embrace that child that is misbehaving. طب هو misbehave ليه؟ Lots of reasons. I don't know what's happening at home. I don't know what happened during his growing up. I don't know how about his self-esteem or her self-esteem. I don't know lots of things. So my role as a servant, not just to give them dars, but to embrace them and to understand them, to be the charismatic adult for them. تحوط عليهم كده، تعالوا ساعدني، تعال نخرج سوا، نشرب ما اعرفش، نلعب كذا كذا، انا بحب فيك كذا وبحب فيك كذا. because most likely he never heard that he is doing something good. never. انت وحش 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 وحش، بص لاقيه ملزق label all over their body. so very important ان انا work with that misbehavior. there are reasons. ما هو حاجه من الاثنين، يا went through tough time يا اما mentally challenged. if mentally challenged ده انا هخلي بالي right. هقول حرام مثلا وهرعاه. طب how about الاذر المختفي اللي انا مش عارفاه؟ ما هو ده lots of challenges in youth life. But this is very important point, Doctor. Thank you for mentioning it. Thank you very much. As servants, we have huge role. Yes. Anybody else? Any other?
كنت عايزة أضيف حاجة.
Yes.
حاجة يعني إحنا we went through it when we came وبرضه نيو كامر. الفاميليز اللي بتيجي بيبقى their main focus إن هم to build a career، ياخدوا license, busy with work. So every بيبقى الأب سايب كل حاجة للأم، أو بيبقى يعني he doesn't know حاجة عن عياله.
Right.
فدي برضو نقطة بتبقى مهمة. لو أبونا مثلا raise awareness إنك أنت مش معنى إنك أنت هنا إنك أنت ده بس عشان كارير وفلوس وخلاص، لا، لازم تبقى involved في الكير بتاع التشيلدرن بتوعك. والسنة اللي بتعدي ما بتعرفش ترجعها تاني. يعني الحاجة اللي بتفوت في اللايف بتاع العيل سنة أو سنتين without the presence of one of his parents ما بنقدرش نرجعها تاني. فدي برضو يعني أنا شفتها في زمايل ليا جايين جداد، ويعني اللي ليا دل عليهم بكلمهم، لكن في ناس طبعا ما بنقدرش نتكلم. فدي very important إن الأب يبقى له رول، ما هوش الأم بس. يعني لازم يبقى الأب له رول في تربية عياله، في الصلاة، في كل حاجة في البيت يعني.
Yes. And that goes back. Thank you, Dr. Mary.
لا ميري بقى، معلش يا دكتورة ميري
لا أنا apologize about مرة.
لا 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 بجد هزعل لا ميري بس. أو مرمر ماشي.
أو مرمر أوكي.
خلاص بقى معتمد يا دكتور نادر، خلاص خلي بالك.
لا أنا بضحك
ميري. Very important point اللي بتتكلمي عليها. And that's why to start of course we start with the prevention. الprevention اللي هي embracing the newcomers and let them know وإذا هيسمعوها أو لا، بس it will come to their senses. انتوا هنا هتمر بتشالنجز، بلاش مصاعب وبلوكرز وجاره وحاجات زي كده. no challenges يعني I always tell the clients you snack on the challenges. يعني your expertise والtransferable experience بتاعتك وكده، انت كده هنا بس هتقابل challenges. however هتقابل challenges، ما ننساش انتوا عيلة، سواء only couple أو عيلة معهم kids. معهم kids very important to keep that in mind. like ما قلت يا دكتور كده إن اللي بيفوت we cannot go back to it. So devote. I know you will be stressed. I know you will be going to school. to update whatever ولا تعمل معادلة. I know you will have to provide كذا. I know there are lots of challenges. However, in those challenges add also something very important. Have that wellness wheel, a balance, إنك spend the time, and that time could be half an hour. On a, if it's not daily basis, at least يوم قالوا لا بس develop that with the children. They feel your presence with them. They feel that you are all together in this, and they feel the encouragement. This is very important. Thank you for mentioning this. Very important. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? So أنا طولت عليكم. I'm sorry about the internet. ان شاء الله فرصه ثانيه.
شكرا دكتوره ميري كتير.
كتر خيرك يا دكتوره، ربنا يعوضك. تعيش.
ثانك يو سابونا. صلوات.
مع وعد بلقاء اخر ان شاء الله.
ان شاء الله ان شاء الله. ربنا يكرمك.
ربنا يخليك.
سلاماتكم.
شكرا لكم كلكم يا جماعه.
شكرا. صلي لنا وتصبونا.
اللهم اجعلنا مستحقين وكن بشكر ابانا الذي في السماوات. خذ اساسا. محبة الله الاب نعمة الابن الوحيد ربنا الهنا مخلصنا يسوع المسيح شركة محبة وعطية الروح القدس فلتكن مع جميعكم. سلام الرب يكون معكم.
Thank you. جميعا.